Hey everyone, Jake here. Welcome back to a new YouTube video. Today, I'm going to go over why finding a better product is bad advice, okay? If someone is like telling you to go find a better product, bad advice. Why is that bad advice? Well, because it's a lie. All right, it's not the product, it's you. Okay, it's the ads you're running. They suck. All right, if you are failing with a product, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. Okay, any product can be sold. So if you're failing on 10 different products, it's not the product, it's you. Your ads suck and you need to get better. Okay? Everybody thinks that the product is everything, but it's not. Here's what most people do. They test products until one hits. If it doesn't work, they move on until they find a winner, even though there is no such thing as a winning product, right? Now, there is such thing as a trash product with no meaning or purpose, right? That's the excuse that people use when they don't know what actually went wrong. If you are just testing product after product and not realizing that your ads just suck, you have a small brain. Here's the truth, okay guys? The product does not sell itself, because just because it's a good product that solves a problem does not mean that people are just going to rush in and buy it, right? The story is the thing that sells the product, or ad copy, okay? So if we have the same product for all three of these things, right? Same product, different desire, completely different results. Same product, different angle, completely different results. Same product, different hook, completely different results, right? These are all different variables inside of our ad copy that could change the outcome, okay? The product is literally just a product, okay? So if I take a posture corrector and I run really bland ads for it, it's gonna suck, okay? The outcome is not gonna be good, but if I actually take my time, learn native image ads, then I can be successful with the product. What you do with it is what makes it win or lose. Here's what actually failed, okay? So when a test does not work, right? Metrics suck. One of these things failed. The desire. This means that you probably targeted an emotional driver that doesn't resonate with buyers in this market. Now, again, it's not always the desire that sucks. It could be the way that you wrote the copy for that desire. It could be trash. The angle, the fear wasn't strong enough to make them act. The hook, you didn't stop the scroll, so they never even read your copy, right? They just scrolled past. The story, if your story has no identification in it, then they're not going to read it. They're just going to scroll past, okay? They'll read a little bit into it and then they're gone. The mechanism, if your mechanism is super unbelievable, why would they keep on reading? Why would they buy your product, right? If your UMP or UMS is weak, then your mechanism sucks. Next being your offer, right? So if your price is sky high, if your shipping is just outrageous. If you guys didn't know this, it's actually easier to sell an item that's higher priced than lower priced based on perceived value. And these are the questions that you should ask yourself whenever a test fails. What desire did you target? Okay, do you even understand what you're targeting? What are you actually targeting? Do you understand it, or are you just having Claude do all the shit for you? Was it strong enough? What angle did I use? Was the fear real? Is this something that would actually make them take action on their problem? What hook did I write? Did it stop the scroll? Did the story make them feel seen? Did they believe the product would actually work? Was the offer strong enough to close? Most of the time, the way that you're doing one of these is just absolutely trash. As we know, copy is the biggest variable on whether we're going to get sales or not, because it's the story behind everything, all right? So you could give the same product to 5 different people and get 5 completely different results, right? So if one person takes it super serious and takes the time to understand their customer, desire, angle, their copy, then they will do better than the other 4 people who try. And you could even give them the same desire to target. It doesn't matter. It's just about doing your copy correctly and actually paying attention to it. Also, your image matters. Don't be like this guy right here. There's no copy with this, bro. This is nuts. But yeah, latest news ad. This is actually pretty funny. So stop blaming the product, right? The product is the last thing to blame because it's not the product's fault, it's your fault, right? So before you say this product doesn't work, ask yourself, did you test more than one batch of desires? Did you test more than one batch of angles? Did you get a very good hook, right? Specificity, a moment. Did you get identification right? right? Are these people feeling recognized? Are they feeling seen, right? If you didn't test multiple desires and angles, you didn't test the product, right? You tried one single thing, you failed, and then you switch products, which is terrible. Like, don't go about it that way. Like, guys, don't be an idiot, okay? Ecom is not easy, so don't think that you're just going to try one batch of desires, two batches of desires, and then you're going to win. This is not a venture capitalist, okay? You can't just press a button and boom, the money rolls in. This is real life. This is an actual business model where you are selling products to real people. Don't be an idiot. So let's break down the sections of copy, all right? First is the hook. This is what stops the scroll. A specific moment is what it should be. If your hook is not a specific moment, fix it. Job, stop the scroll, make them read the next line. Okay, so something that is pretty weak is I struggled with back pain for years. But if we were to put this into a moment, right? I was making my 6-year-old son at PB&J for lunch whenever he asked me, why do I walk like a grandpa? I'm 34. Okay, that's a moment, right? So I give you guys these examples of hooks and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that it's a winner. Guys, I don't have a chip in my head that tells me this is going to print, this is going to absolutely performance-wise blow up, right? I don't know that. That's why we test. Testing is literally 90% of what you do. Identification. Make sure this is strong, okay? You're going to describe their life accurately, right? Or make it recognizable, relatable. You're going to call out their daily frustrations, failed attempts, in order to make them feel seen. Job, make them feel like you're describing their life. Weak, generic pain points anyone could say. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I can't even barely walk. Oh, like, no one wants to hear that shit, okay? But strong things are recognizable moments that they've lived, right? So not specific, okay? Again, what are the chances that there are thousands of people who have lived your exact same moment? No, we don't do that for that. We make it recognizable, okay? Thoughts they haven't said out loud. This is important, all right? Our deep emotional desire is also something they wouldn't say out loud because it's embarrassing, right? Details that make them think. How do you know this about me? Like, how does this person recognize me so good? Failed solutions. Make sure to call these out. These are important. Don't leave these out. Don't make them vague. What they've tried that didn't work. Obviously, guys, so product names, prices, how long they used it, right? Stuff like that. Don't say stuff like that. Don't do, oh, I took these pills. What pills? Oh, I tried these products. What products? Right? Now, as you can see, for this example here, I highlighted this, and I'll tell you why in a second. This says $47 tube of tretinoin every 3 months, $340 Botox sessions, 43 appointments over 5 years, $14,000 total, still looked old. Now, guys, I want you to kind of think about it for a second. This is specific, yeah? This is specific. But if you really think about it, how many people do you think can afford stuff like that? Not many people, right? How much money do you think that all these appointments would add up to? A lot, right? So it makes me wonder if there is a disconnect between, like, say someone is reading this, right? Dang, this person can afford all of this. We're probably in a different tax bracket. So it's something to think about, right? These are things to test. Think about it. Is there a disconnect because someone else might not have as much money? Think about it. Your UMP, pretty important, all right? Why nothing has worked, all right? So just reframe the understanding of the problem. A vague reframe that sounds smart but doesn't explain anything at all, right? Something like this. Oh, this skincare serum just makes my skin dry. What the hell? Like, that sucks, right? So don't be super vague. Something like this. Most serums only absorb into the top layer of skin. They never reach the deeper layer where collagen actually gets produced. So you're moisturizing the surface while the real problem keeps getting worse underneath. That's a super simple UMP. It's super easy to understand and it makes sense and it's believable. All right? Your discovery. I've talked about this before. I am not the biggest fan of research-based discovery. Saying things like, oh, I was on TikTok at 3 a.m. and I found this. Guys, let's not be like that, okay? Let's get real with it. Let's have a real moment. Let's make it organic. This, yeah, that's just trash. Okay, but something like this, my sister handed it to me at Thanksgiving. She had the same problem. I didn't even know she fixed it until I saw her face. Obviously, you're going to be more descriptive of this, but this is just an example. My sister handed you what? You would be specific about that, okay? Your UMS. Your UMS has to make sense. It has to go along with your UMP, okay? Do not just say something like this. This product works really well and it's just different than others. Explain how. This formula uses smaller molecules that penetrate past the surface layer and reach the deeper skin where collagen is made. That's why it rebuilds instead of just moisturizing. There you go. And then last, your transformation. Do not make this an instant transformation. That's not realistic. It needs to be week by week. All right. Specific details about what changed. What did you see? Not this. Okay. It worked. I feel so much better now. Week 2, I noticed density under my cheeks when I pressed. Week 6, the hollow under my eyes was filling in. Month 3, my daughter grabbed my phone and said, "Mom, what are you doing? You look 10 years younger." Boom. But there you go, guys. That is a video going over why the product is almost never the problem. It is your ads. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Peace, guys.